starting take two for my first Google Hangout on air, and now I'm going to invite Warren Dale into the Hangout. Okay, I'm adding Warren. Dale, come on. Here we go. And I'm going to invite Warren. And I have to tell him that our first Hangout, for some reason, didn't go live like I thought it was. But we've got the live button, and it says stop broadcast, so we should be good to go this time. Hopefully take two is better than take one. Alright. Hopefully Warren comes on soon. I'm going to make some adjustments to my screen while I'm waiting for Warren. Oh, okay. Okay. I see. Okay. With that. All right, Warren, where are you? Capture? No, I don't want that. Control room. Google Effects, maybe. New features. Let's see if I can blur myself out. Yeah, it's blurred out. Okay. Yeah, I like the blurred out effect. All right, Warren, where are you? I'm going to try inviting him again. All right, he's there. Oh, Warren. Okay, yeah, I'm actually going to call Warren. Or I'm going to text him. Oh, here he comes.
Hey, Scott.
All right, so yeah, for some reason there was a glitch, and we're going to do a take two because it didn't save it.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, but I'm sure we'll get it right this time.
Okay. Didn't save anything?
Yeah, I think I wasn't actually broadcasting because I'm seeing a different thing saying stop broadcast now, and so I think, yeah, one thing I learned, you got to make sure that stop broadcast red button is showing up.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
So hopefully we'll be better with this with the take two. My feedback was when I'm actually filming you on Monday, the video of you doing that is going to really be powerful for the next teacher that sees it because you'll be able to talk about that in real time as it's unfolding.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's going to be one powerful learning video about how to roll out, bring your own devices, and start editing an IM poem, and we're going to be able to show them step by step, right there in the moment, what that looks like.
Oh, I think so too. Should I go into more detail about why we're using an IM poem versus something else?
I think you should keep the steps tight. Step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, and then because we could put graphics over that.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah.
And then go into the meta, why this is important, because the kids get a chance to teach each other and think about all the skills you could mention that they're actually going to be learning in the 2 hours we have with them on Monday, and then because it's process and content and new ways of learning. I mean, we probably could go on and on about what that teacher is going to see, those teachers are going to see as far as the Dale method and how it's going to change the learning.
Well, see, this is what is really hard to explain to people until they actually see it, because we have a whole generation and a half that has believed that you can only teach one thing at a time. And but I don't want to say that. You know, you say, because it sounds like I'm saying you're stupid and don't know how it works.
Well, my frame of that is that when you have these powerful devices in your hands, you can do more than one thing at one time.
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh, that's exactly what they're going to be understanding when they see it in operation.
All right, so let me just ask you a couple questions before you go into the overview again.
Okay.
So give us sort of an abbreviated curriculum vitae of what you've been doing the last 30 years.
Okay.
And
Sure.
so people have a sense of when you walk in on Monday, this is based on thousands of hours in classrooms in multiple schools and multiple settings,
Yeah.
right? And using cutting edge technology for the last 20 years in classrooms, this is the epitome of everything that you've learned, right?
Yep.
So,
Yeah.
so give us kind of a
Okay.
overview.
Over the past 30 plus years, I've had the amazing opportunity to help integrate technology into the classroom. We started with Apple IIs, and now we're using iPads, and we've watched the technology become more powerful, easier to use, and what I'm discovering is it has really helped leverage the learning. So now it used to be that when I was in the classroom teaching math, I would put one standard down that the kids are learning for the day. Now I'm finding that these kids are learning multiple standards, mastering them, and they're able to go so much farther because now they have the chance to actually do it themselves in a tactile, visual, oral, all their different learning modalities are brought to bear. That's what we're going to be doing today. We're going to be taking the students' ideas about themselves, and we're going to allow them to amplify those ideas with pictures, with sound, with text, and be able to put the timing together so that they can come up with a powerful story about themselves.
And why is that important that they're doing it this way rather than just writing the poem and maybe reading it aloud?
Well, the power of multimedia is really hard to explain until you see it, except that we like to go to movies. We like to immerse ourselves in that total process of visual, audio. Now the kids are going to be using tactile, but they're going to be using their brains, they're going to be using their internet, they're going to be using all these other things to bring it together. That is what we know how learning really sticks.
And how is this going to benefit the Tanya and Amy as far as watching you do this, and how will they leverage this once you leave?
By doing a project like this, these students will be learning how to create a video about something they have learned. You now will be able to move into other curricular areas, and you will now be able to use this tool in a real way to really enhance the learning in your classroom in ways that we really don't even know where the boundaries are. This is 21st century learning at its most powerful.
Now, you've been doing this at other schools. Can you give us kind of an example about how it's been working where you've done this before?
Yeah, wow. Most schools, especially in California, but I'm finding all over the United States, have a group of students that were born here, but because their English skills are not up to speed, typically they do not speak English at home, they find themselves in an ESL program and they're supposed to be learning English. Most of these students end up in what we call lifers. They spend their whole life in the ESL program with an extra period of English, and we're there working hard to get them to learn English. When we use this method, I've had several experiences where after less than 6 months of learning in a multimedia, hands-on, student-produced product role, 60 to 80% of the class transitions out of the ESL classes. Unheard of. Secondly, in working with the whole spectrum all the way up to the gifted, I've had several classes where students have started using it in gifted classes where they are now able to put together information about their products, and now they come up to the teacher and say, "Teacher, I learned this. Can I go farther? May I tell you about what I've learned, and this is where I would like to go with the product." This is music to a teacher's ear, because what that means is a teacher has been able to stimulate learning in her parent. The teacher has been able to stimulate learning in their students, And that is really what teaching is all about.
So let's get back to Haws. What's the most important skills that you're going to be modeling for the two teachers that are going to be doing this in their classroom?
I'm going to be modeling several skills. First of all, I'm going to be modeling, which they probably do already, but I'm going to be modeling how to let the students start taking charge of the products that they are producing. I'm going to be teaching them a little bit about how to use their device and how to search the internet and how to produce the movie. But mainly I'm going to be letting them, by asking questions, they're going to be doing their own learning. They're going to be doing their own figuring out. And then they're going to start sharing with their fellow classmates. So we're going to be seeing a lot of movement in the class as the kids move among each other, helping each other out. We're going to be hearing noise as they say, wow, look at this picture. Look at, I can't believe what I just found. You got to, this is perfect for my line here. And then you're going to be seeing me move among the students, seeing what they're doing, having a conversation about, number one, is this the best way to tell your story? Number two, is this the best content and the organization? Talking about process and letting them respond to me about what they have learned. There's another thing that's going to happen, because there will be mistakes in their first videos. Once we start to share the videos that they've produced with the whole class, we're going to see a lot of other students grab their devices and start re-editing their video, because they will see something in another kid's work and they're going to say, wow, I could do that, and it's going to make my video better. It's that organic editing process, it's the organic learning process, and I'm going to be modeling how to manage that so we can get the most out of it among the students. It's really tough when we do this with paper and pencil, but when we go where the student has their device in their own hand, it goes on steroids really quickly. And I'm going to be modeling for the teacher how to deal with that and how to begin to get comfortable, because it feels different. It's stressful. It is. But once they start doing it, oh man, it's pay dirt. They'll realize that I'm not having to push anymore. The kids are pulling me, and they're going to want to do, hey, can we make movies about this unit of study, or can we make movies about that unit of study? And that's where we want to go. That's where we want the students doing it. Usually after one session, we get that. And then it becomes, we may do some tune-up sessions afterwards where the teacher will say, wow, I tried this and it worked, I tried that and it didn't work, any ideas to why? And that's what we talk about. But it's the foundation. It's the beginning point.
Okay, since you've been doing this for 30 years, now we've got powerful computers in the kids' hands, whether it's a tablet or a phone. How is that different than laptops from 5-7 years ago?
Well, let's go back to the beginning. When we first started, we set up a lab, and teachers would bring their kids into the lab, and they would word process a term paper. The teachers were ecstatic because now they could read what the kids were writing, and it made correcting it so much easier. And it was awesome. It was such a step forward from what they were able to get out of their kids in the past. Then we went into mobile labs, and they were able to bring it into the classroom, so the kids were working in their own environment. Then we started getting the ability to have cameras on the computers so they could start recording themselves or recording their voices and integrating that into their work. That ratcheted up. Now that we have handheld devices, typically these devices have cameras, have video editing, have internet access. These are multi-purpose devices. That's the way we learn, is by combining all of these learning modalities into one. When I was in school learning how to teach, we learned about all the multiple intelligences, and then we scratched our heads to try to figure it out. We said, hey, kids need challenges. Kids need to be able to figure out how to solve problems. We would scratch our heads how to give those assignments. They're all right here. We're going to see it happening in real time. And I'm going to be able to walk around with the teacher and say, listen to this conversation over here. I'm seeing problem solving. I'm seeing resolution of conflict between this is a picture that I have and I really wanted to say this, so maybe there's a better way. We're going to see the learning going on because it looks different and it feels different, but the goals are the same. And this is what's really powerful.
So will this give the teachers the opportunity to actually be the guide on the side rather than sage on the stage?
What I like to do is have the teacher just watch for a little bit and listen. Once they've done that a little bit, then I'm going to say, walk with me as I move around. Typically we're at one place because I'm just getting a group going, and then they will spread out throughout the class. And then what's really fun is the teachers start moving out among the class, and they're able to respond to what's on the screen, because you see, we as teachers come spring loaded, trying to help kids get better at their learning. And when we see a misspelled word, we can ask them to, hey, read that sentence to me out loud. When the kid reads it to me out loud, oh, wait a minute, that's misspelled, and they can fix it. Or, what does that red line mean? Oh, that's a misspelled word. They can fix it. You know, this picture, the head's cut off. Why is that? Is that what you wanted? And by asking questions, suddenly, by just looking at the screen, they will be able to figure things out and get very helpful almost immediately. And they realize, wait a minute, I'm contributing to this. And that's that satisfaction, and that's where I would like to see the teachers getting comfortable with. And that's where I see the growth really take place. And then day 2, when they've completed and start submitting. Day 3, when they're looking at the content and helping the students make their edits better, and also share it with the class. And that's really the most important thing, is when they start sharing those videos with the class. We're going to see monumental growth. It's an organic thing that happens. We've talked about peer review, and there's wonderful programs to do that, where kids correct their own work. It'll happen, and we'll see how that happens. And I'm going to be there. That's really in segment 4, where we're going to be helping. I'm going to be sharing tips for how the teacher can be a more powerful coach.
Which we could do on, you don't even have to be there. We could be doing it Google Hangout, based on videos that the students are doing or the teacher did, and you could be commenting, right? No,
I just join. I do it all the time. I call it an Uncle Warren session. We can call it whatever we want. And basically what happens is I have joined the class in a Hangout session. I'm watching the videos as the students share them, and I'm joining the conversation with the students and with the teacher about how well the students have told their story about themselves. And we can do that just by joining in. It's really, it's an amazingly powerful device, and the kids love it. And it's nice for the teacher too, because they know they're not alone.
So Marshall McLuhan talks about the medium as the message. So using a cutting-edge device, editing a movie based on something that's a language arts standard, and then creating the movie, watching the movie, critiquing the movie, re-editing the movie, and then having you come in via Google Hangouts is about as cutting edge as we can get at this point.
Well, I like to call it cutting edge, yes. The kids don't see it as cutting edge. The kids just look at it as, shouldn't it be that way? But yes, absolutely, we are right there on the front line. And why not? It's their future.
Okay, so I think that was a great hangout. Now let's see if I got everything to work and we can get this hangout to go to YouTube so we can look at it and edit it and figure out the best way to get people understanding what is possible now.
Go for it. Let me know.
All right, Warren.
Let me ask a quick question.
Sure.
Is everything too bad?
Is what?
Is the camera wiggling too bad?
No, I didn't see it wiggle at all, Warren.
Is it wiggling right now? See, because I realize that when I touch the table, the whole table jiggles a little bit.
Yeah. Well, you're a bit because the bandwidth on your end caused you to be a little jerky as far as your movement. Like Lenhart says, it's best to be hardwired in. I don't know. What's your internet speed at your house?
Oh, I have 30, 40 megs.
You do.
Yeah.
Are you using?
The problem is it's going through my air conditioner. Well, I'm going to be offline for a little bit, and I'm going to move my access point.
Oh, are you using the Wi-Fi on your iPhone?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, let's see. I'm going to say goodbye now, Warren, and stop the broadcast, and then I'm going to give you a call once and send you the link.
I'll be offline for probably 10 minutes.
Okay, great, Warren. Thank you.
Okay.
Bye.